Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. This week we're talking about self-talk and performance. So my son, Jensen, has been doing something new over the past couple weeks. And he's not just running new races in middle school track, although that's part of it. He's running the 4x8, the 1600, the 800, and that's a lot. Even threw the long jump in there, but it wasn't really a very long jump. But he helped set the 4x8 school record, and that really should be the end of the story. But lately, something else has been showing up. And as we head into tournament time for spring sports, I thought this experience that I've been watching, something we need to be aware of, so we can do something about it before it does something to us, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. So before races, he's been talking about how fast the other guys are, or how hard these three races are, or how much it's going to take out of them. This is before we even get to the track. So this is something new for him. It's not really who he is. He doesn't really compare things. He doesn't do, oh, dang it. Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. This week we're talking about self-talk and performance. So Jensen, my son, has been doing something new over the past couple weeks. He's not just running a couple new races, and that's part of it, but he's running the 4x800, the 1600, the 800, and that's a lot, sort of brutal. Even threw the long jump in there for a minute, but he's helped set the 4x8 record for their school, and that really should be the end of the story. He's doing just fine. But lately, something else has been showing up. And as we head into tournament time for spring sports, I thought this experience is something that we need to be paying attention to and become aware of, because if we don't, this is something that can sort of take us over, if you will. So before races, he's been talking all about the other guys. He's been talking about how brutal running these three races are, how much it's going to take out of him. And this is really something new for him. This is not the type of kid he is. He's really not a comparison kind of guy. He doesn't do it in music. He doesn't do it in swimming. He doesn't even do it in cross country. He just goes and does things normally. So really, my question is, like, what's changed? Nothing about his ability has really changed. And yeah, his training could be better, but it's really not about that. The thing that is a real issue is that what's changed is the conversation that he's having. The conversation he's having in his head, the things that are coming out of his mouth, the things that are rolling around up there. And this makes a huge difference in how we perform. Research in sports psychology and cognitive science is really clear on this. The voice in our head is not just describing what's happening. It's helping determine what happens next. And this is vital for us to understand. So work from Ethan Kross, who wrote the book Chatter and the book Shift, both great books. He shows that self-talk acts as a regulation system, not just a reflection system. The way we speak to ourselves influences how we manage stress, it influences how we make decisions, it influences how we perform under pressure. So Jensen is talking about what he doesn't want. He doesn't want to be miserable. He doesn't want to, get beat, whatever. He's not ordering what he wants. When he goes to restaurants, he orders what he wants. He looks at the menu, he finds something he likes because he knows what he wants. And then he orders it because he wants to get, to receive, and enjoy the thing that looked good to him. On the way to track meets, he's talking about the stuff that he doesn't want. And guess what? It's a big deal. Guess what he gets? This is a big deal because attentional research in sports show that performance follows our focus. And we know this. What we attend to becomes what our body organizes around. Our self-talk often directs that attention in the first place. So instead of thinking about self-talk as either positive or negative, because we always think, oh, we got to be positive, that's really not the answer. It's more useful to understand that what it's actually doing inside of us as a system, to our system in general. Our self-talk controls three key drivers of performance. The first one, as we just mentioned, is our attention. Self-talk tells our brain what matters. When the message is, they're faster than me, attention shifts outward to comparison. Or it shifts inward to, I've got to control everything that I'm doing. When the messages stay smooth through our first 200, attention shifts to process, to execution, to what we've practiced. We don't perform what we don't attend to. Or maybe I should put that more positively. Better yet, we have a much better chance of doing what we attend to. We're going to do what we're thinking about. The second system that this affects is our state, managing our state. Self-talk influences our physiological responses. When our thoughts frame something as overwhelming, our brain interprets that as a threat. And that triggers tighter muscles, faster breathing, a more reactive system, not what we're looking for. And when our thoughts are task-focused and more controlled, our bodies stay more efficient and more coordinated. And that's what we need to be our best. Our body follows the interpretation our brain creates, plain and simple. My lights, hang on. And I'm back. I'm in my classroom and the lights keep going off. But here's the deal. We have to make sure that we understand that this physiological response to our state makes a huge difference. When our thoughts frame something as overwhelming, as I mentioned, we are going to go into protect mode. And when we get into protect mode, we try to control every little thing. And when we try to control every little thing, we get slow. We don't make good decisions, plain and simple. Again, our body follows the interpretation that our brain creates. The third thing that this whole self-talk affects is our expectations. Self-talk shapes prediction. And as Trevor Moawad said in the book, It Takes What It Takes, great book, you gotta get it. Words are tools. They both predict and perpetuate performance. Our brain is constantly anticipating what's about to happen. If the message is, this is gonna be brutal, our system prepares to endure. If the message is, hey, I'm ready for this pace, I'm ready for this race, our system prepares to perform. Our brain organizes our performance around what it expects. And what we're talking about turn into expectations. So put that together and you get something really simple, but really powerful. A conversation in our head doesn't just describe the race, it prepares us for it, plain and simple. So when Jensen starts talking about how fast everyone else is and how hard the races are and he's got to save for this or whatever, nothing about his ability changes, but everything about his system and how his system prepares does. His attention drifts, his body tightens, his expectations shift to something that is not helpful. And then we don't perform at our best. We've got the same athlete, we've got different preparation, unfortunately, and then we get a different outcome. And that's what I've seen a little bit through this track season. So what do we need to do about this? It's not about forcing ourselves to be positive. Positive thinking is not what we're looking for. It's not strong enough when things get hard. And half the time, we don't believe it anyway. We have to train our conversation. First, we have to catch it. Awareness comes first. We know that. Self-awareness is our superpower. We can't just not pay attention to what we're saying and expect something to change. We need to pay attention to what shows up before, during, after performance, and use that superpower to say, hey, this is helping, this is not. Second, we have to give our minds a job. Our brain is always looking for something to lock onto, something to do. Without direction, it will find distraction. Bring it back to one clear, controllable cue, rhythm, relaxed shoulders, first 200 pace, whatever that might be, makes all the difference in the world. We can also ask the right question. That's critical. Instead of asking, what if this happens, this happens, this happens, we need to be like Navy SEALs and ask this question. What do I know as facts? This forces our brain to stop catastrophizing and returns us to focusing on present, actionable realities. What if pulls our attention to the future and into things we don't control and outcomes that we cannot predict. What do I know as facts right now shuts down that spiral. It brings our brain back to the present. And if we answer it honestly, we quickly realize something. So here's the conundrum with this question, right? Some facts don't help us. Maybe we didn't prepare the way we wanted to. That might be true, but it's not useful at the time. We can't change any of that at the starting line. We can't change that in the batter's box. We can't change that in the middle of a race. So, and ultimately, when we look at that fact, it's not a performance fact. We're going to perform better when we shift to the facts that matter now, not this fact that I didn't prepare. What do I know that helps me perform right now? Things like I know what my first 200 pace needs to be. I know how to stay relaxed. I know how to compete in these situations. I know how to get my body ready for this. These are actionable facts. These are controllable. These are the things that bring our attention back. They settle our body and they reset our expectations. Next, we shift on, not surprisingly, how we talk to ourselves. Research shows, and Ethan Kross talks about this in the book, that slightly distant self-talk using our name or using you can improve our composure and our execution under pressure. It creates just enough separation that we believe it more because we don't trust I. It's like talking to someone else or like how a coach would talk to you. It makes all the difference in the world. Better yet, we talk to ourselves like a teammate would. Your teammate would never say, hey, good luck, they're faster than you, and this is going to be a miserable race. You give them something useful. You give them something actionable. You give them something more positive in this case, really, something simple, direct, or steady. We deserve that same voice. Because here's the truth. We don't need more ability on the line. There's nothing we can do to change that. If we're hoping for that in the moment, it's too late. We're standing there. We're here. We're in our performance mode. Here we go. Getting better is what practice is for, not performance. When it's go time, we need a better conversation. And that's something that we control every single time we step up to compete. So talk about what you want. Talk about what you know for sure. And use your friend voice. Because if you don't control the conversation, it will control you. Plain and simple. So my lights went out in my classroom. Awesome. Sorry for the poor video this week. But if you have anything that you'd like to discuss about this, or if you'd like to be a part of my 20, 26, 27 group of teams, I would love to add your group in. Whether it's coming out just for an individual session where we do a workshop, or we do some sort of presentation to your team, whatever kind of team that you have, or whether you want a year-long or maybe a semester-long program. My teams are killing it this spring. It's been a fun spring to watch them play. Of course, not all related to mental performance, but I'm certain that it's a key. But I would love to add you to the SSP Performance Group. So reach out, juliej@sspperformance.com. I'd love to hear from you. And until next week, have a great week or not. You get to decide.